Hey, welcome back to the channel in another video. It's Kamisha here. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. And if you are returning back, thank you for tuning back in. I share videos based on my passion of helping you walk in your divine purpose, your identity, and maximizing the life that you were created and called to live. What I need to say today, you saw the title of it, is stop oversharing your dreams. Stop talking so much. And the sole purpose behind me sharing this video today is I want to really preserve your life. I want to preserve your vision. I want to preserve your goals. I want to preserve so many things that is lost when we are oversharing our dreams, our vision, our goals, our desires. I'm speaking from experience. I didn't just pick this topic out of a hat to talk about. This is something that I want to help you with because I had to learn the hard way. If I could just be honest, I had to really learn the hard way on how to keep my mouth closed. I've accomplished so much more in my life. I could have gotten so much farther in my life. In certain times, I just talked too much to people that I didn't need to talk to. For myself personally, I definitely have no issue or no reservation with talking about my life experiences because for me, this is a way of, one, knowing that I have overcome the situation I'm speaking of, and I'm speaking about this situation from a very pure heart. So I'm not talking about anything that I've been bitter or burned on, but I am talking about experiences that have changed me and that have taught me. And in me being taught and learning and overcoming, I want to help other people to learn. Do not regret anything in the past because I believe for myself, everything helped and equipped me to where I am now. So if I hadn't done those things in the past, I wouldn't be able to really effectively tell you how to avoid these things. But let's just get into it. I know oftentimes we get excited. We want to share with people that we love. We want to share good news. We want to share things that we want to do. We want to share our desires, our goals right now. What I'm telling you here is I don't want you to come from a place of skepticism or like pessimism when we're talking about not oversharing or not like telling everybody your dreams. But this is highly key for you, like especially if you are a person of large faith and you are a person that dreams big, right? If you are a person that has a vision from God, if you're a person that can see things before they happen, if you're a person who has childlike faith, right? If you believe that, gosh, I know some people that they're like, if I just think about this thing long enough, it starts to happen for me. I know for myself, I get these visions. I've had many times in my life where I've actually had a vision in plain sight in the daytime where I saw myself doing something and I saw a friend doing something. And I remember this time so vividly. It was like 2019. I had a vision of a friend of mine. She was standing up in this room and she was like teaching on a workshop that I was hosting. And I remember going to my friend telling her about it. And she was just like, tell me the date and time and I'll be there. And when I tell y'all the vision of my friend that I had saw like in the daytime is literally what happened. She came to my workshop. I had just launched my business, Live the Vision. And she came with other people that I had also invited. And she was standing up there teaching in the workshop just the way I had envisioned her vision. I can't call it a dream because I wasn't asleep. I was awake. And this has happened to me several times. I've dreamt things. I've seen things in visions. God has revealed things to me in different ways. Also, I'm very goal oriented. That is just the way that I'm wired. So like a lot of times a goal will be placed in my heart and my mind, and I cannot rest until I complete the goal. I believe that these are God-given visions. These are God-given dreams, and these are God-given goals. Now, I know I came in kind of strong with that, so let me just chill. I don't want to scare y'all away for those of you like, I didn't click on it for this. But even when it comes to your goals and things that you desire, right? You may be watching and you might be like, well, I don't know if I have God-given dreams, visions, and goals. I just know that I like sharing a lot of my life with people. Yeah, stop doing that. Okay. Stop sharing a lot of your life with people, because I'm here to tell you that you need to get strategic about who you share things with and what you share. Have you ever been in a time in your life where you were so excited about something and you could not wait to tell a person that you loved or you cared about, or maybe it was a coworker, maybe it was a relative, maybe it was a friend. You shared the news with them and you did not get the response that you were expecting. I know that's happened to you before. You don't have to tell me, because it's happened to me. It's happened to me several times. I think it's happened to all of us. We share this news with the person. We share a plan with somebody. We share something that we want to do, a place that we want to go, a goal that we want to meet. And when we share it with that person, we can sometimes get the complete opposite reaction that we were expecting to get. And what does that do? It puts a hindrance, a damper, and it kind of halts the feeling that you had when you were so excited about telling that person at first. And that feeling probably went from here to like here. Now, if you're a strong-minded person and you're strong-willed, you may say, well, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm not going to let what they think bother me. Well, if you don't let what people think about your goals stop you, then that's even more reason why you should stop telling so many people. Because if it's not going to change how you feel, then you don't need to always inform everybody of what you got going on. Now, here's the reason why this is so important, is because you can gain so much productivity, momentum, and speed behind your life when you stop needing the validation and stop needing to inform different people in your life for different things. I'm not telling you to go around being weird, skeptical, pessimistic, ultra private and just negative toward people, like, oh, I can't tell anybody anything. I'm not saying have that posture, but I am saying that a lot of times we're sharing things with people that don't really need to know. So you need to learn how to adapt what I like to call a need to know basis. Now, there's certain people in my life that I'm going to share things with because they are a priority in my life. They are close to me and I want them to know a lot of things going on with me. Let me give an example. My husband. Me and my husband are life partners. He is the head of my life. He is my covering. He's the priest of my home. Biblically, like, this is my husband. And although I don't have to tell him certain things, like, I am an adult, he is an adult. So it's not like he's making me tell him certain things, but I desire to share certain things with him because he is a big part of my life. So he is like that sounding board where if I have a certain plan or I have a certain desire, if I went through something in a certain day, he's likely going to know about it. But even with that, I had to learn, even with my husband, the closest person to my life, I had to learn the right timing on talking to my husband about certain things. I had to learn the right setting to talk to my husband about certain things. For example, if my husband's getting off work and he had a long day and he's in a different mindset, I may not bring up something so sensitive because he may not be in the state to really be hearing it. Maybe he's tired, whatever the case may be. So that's just giving an example of, like, even the closest people to your life, you want to learn timing and placement to bring things up. But aside from that, some people just don't need to know. Okay, let's go Bible. So in the Bible, Joseph had a gift of being a prophetic dreamer, right? If you read the story of Joseph in the Word, he was the youngest of all of his brothers. He was the youngest of his father's child. His father had him in older age, so he was favored by his father. But this caused jealousy and hatred from his brothers, right? If you read the Bible, Joseph was so favored, his father gave him a coat of many colors. That was a symbolic measure of how much he was favored by his father. One night, Joseph had a dream. In the dream, he saw that his parents and his family was kind of bowing to him. Now, Joseph was really young when he first had the dream. He told his family this dream, not out of arrogance, not out of I don't really believe that Joseph really had a full understanding of the dream. I believe he was a young boy and he didn't know what it meant and he was just sharing it. Well, in him sharing the dream, that made his brothers hate him even more. His brothers hated him so much that they decided they were going to kill him. But one of the brothers said, no, let's not kill him. Let's just sell him. They sold him to slavery, and that started Joseph's journey to elevation. Now, one thing I want to tell y'all, I'm big on the Word. I love the Bible. I love the Word. So I'm going to reference things here and there because I feel like that is my life value. That's my life standard. But sometimes Just like in that Bible story with Joseph and how he shared this prophetic dream that he had with his family. And they were like, what is that dream supposed to mean? That means we're going to be bowing down to you. And Joseph really didn't know that. But guess what? It took many years for that dream to come to pass. But Joseph got elevated. He got sold to slavery. He ended up being in prison. He was interpreting dreams while he was in prison. He was so good at using his gift that he ended up interpreting a dream that Pharaoh had that only Joseph could understand. Only Joseph could interpret. So at that point, he began to be second in charge to Pharaoh. His family then came back because there was a famine in the land, and Joseph ended up saving his entire family and nation. Okay. He was in charge. He got elevated. All those things happened in the end. However, Joseph had to go through a hard process because he spoke prematurely to his family and they already hated him. So here's what I want to get into. The reason why you need to properly steward your life and not tell everybody your vision, your dreams, and your desires is for many different reasons. And I would be talking all day if I went over all the reasons, but I'm just going to give you a couple of them. One, some people in your life don't need to know your visions and dreams because they are not able to digest what it is that you desire, what it is that you want, and what it is that you're called to do. If God placed a specific purpose and a calling on the inside of you, then your desires and your dreams and a lot of times your vision is going to be conducive to who you're created to be. So if God created you to be a person that changes an entire nation or leads a nation, let's just give an example. If you were born and your purpose was to become the president of a nation, right? So with that being said, God knows from your birth that you are going to be born to be a leader of a nation. Your life, your goals, your visions, your aspirations are going to look a lot different than somebody whose purpose is to work on cars, right? Be on a farm, work in an office. These are different purposes with different types of lifestyles based on the call that different people have. I had to learn this. The call that God may have on my life it's going to cause me to desire certain things. It's going to cause me to see things a certain way. It's going to cause me to move a certain way. It's going to cause me to talk a certain way, to operate in a certain way, because this is how God made Kamisha in order to carry out the call of God on my life. So before I knew that, though, I would share things with people just out of wanting to include them on my life. Or if I had something great going for me, I would just kind of tell whoever was in my life at the time. And when they could not digest or understand why I was doing it, it kind of put a damper on that time or that thing I was doing. But I learned over time through trial and error that you have to know who you're sharing with. Everybody cannot digest what you want, where you go, and what you're doing. Number 2, everybody does not mean you well. Now, I will say this. The majority of people in your life, they probably do mean you well. So I'm not here to say, look at your mama, cousin, sister, uncle, pastor, this person crazy. I'm not saying that. The majority of people in your life, I believe that they mean you well, right? Because we want to look at people from a positive lens. However, there are people in that same category that do not mean you well. And we just got to call it what it is. Everybody doesn't mean you well. Just like I referenced Joseph in the Bible, his own blood brothers hated him, were jealous of him, despised him because he had the favor of God on his life. And his father also favored him. That caused them not to like their own family member. I'm here to tell y'all, there's some people in your life who just don't mean you well. And I don't care if you're related to them by blood, or if you're in the same class as them, or if you go to the same church as them, or if you're in the same organization as them. Some of those people just don't mean you well. So you don't need to be telling them everything about your life. If their heart isn't pure towards you, they don't need to know much about you. Number 3, telling people things that they don't need to know. Sometimes it can cause unnecessary hindrances. Let me give you a good example. I'm big on stuff like this. If you get a negative report from the doctor, you go to the doctor for a routine checkup and your doctor tells you that they see something there that is not good. Human nature might say, I need to tell people in my life what this doctor has showed me and told me about myself. Before you do that, let's take a step back. Does everybody in your life really need to know this negative report that the doctor has just given you? Do you yourself even fully understand the report? Have you prayed about it? Have you gone to God about it? Have you asked God, how to lead you in that? Was it a mistake on the diagnostic, right? A lot of times people go to the doctor, they get a certain report, they go haywire, they're telling everybody, they're sharing it abroad, they're sharing it publicly, asking everybody to pray. And again, I'm not knocking you asking nobody for prayer. So don't see this video and twist what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to help you, not harm you. But sometimes we just move so fast. One, we don't really go to God first. We go to people. And I want to encourage you on this video to learn how to pray to God first. Go to God about things in your life that are very, very important. He will lead you and guide you, and he will protect you from those who don't need to know. So if you get like a negative doctor's report, sometimes you just need to sit with that thing. Maybe you need to talk to one or two people close to your life that you know can actually walk with you through it. Not that people that are going to think bad about it or like make you more anxious about it. One thing I'll say is if you're dealing with something heavy or something that is serious, don't share it with somebody else who cannot handle that information. Like if you are already dealing with anxiety, worry, and fear about something in your life, go to somebody that's strong. Don't go to somebody else that has worse anxiety than you. Don't go to somebody else that walks in more fear than you. Don't go to somebody else who is also a worrywart. All that's going to do is just add to the fire. And that's something that you really don't need in your life. I always say, go to a strong person. When you're weak, go to somebody strong, okay? When you're strong about something, know who you're going to. Another reason why you need to be very strategic about who you're sharing your dreams and your visions with is that some people just will share that also with others. Some people don't respect privacy. They don't respect confidentiality. Another thing that I've learned throughout life is that you tell somebody something and you think you're sharing it in confidence. There'll even be times that you'll ask somebody to keep something between you and them, and they'll tell you that they're doing that. And it's only a matter of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 days, a week. They've told somebody else without your permission. Okay. You don't need to do that. I am very big on integrity. I'm very big on my privacy. So I used to share things with people just assuming that they were keeping my information confidential. And then I had to learn the hard way that they're talking about what I shared to a relative, a friend, somebody in their organization, their sibling, their parent, whoever. I put a stop to all that. I have one time now to tell somebody something, and as soon as I hear it get back to me, I'm never sharing anything else private with that person again, because they've just proved to me that they cannot handle it. It's not that you're being upset or that you're being hateful about it or that you're like being resentful to them. You just have to learn how to categorize people. If a person does not keep confidentiality, they don't respect privacy, you got to stop telling them stuff. There are times that you will experience things, maybe a desire, a goal, a plan of action in your life, a vision, and it is not for this time in your life. Yet it still is going to happen for you in a certain season, right? For example, you might say, hey, I want to become a millionaire. Let's just give an example. You have a desire to become a millionaire. Well, that may not happen for you in 1 year. That may take you some time. But what I find is sharing with somebody that you want to become a millionaire and they just have a poverty mindset. They may think that you're crazy for wanting to be a millionaire. They may think that you turn evil because you want to become a millionaire. When really in actuality, you could want to become a millionaire so that you could buy a school, or you could buy a homeless shelter, or you could become a mentor that helps less fortunate. There can be so many reasons why you desire to be a millionaire. Maybe you want to have financial freedom for your future children. Whatever the case, that's your business. But there are some people who will think against what you desire because they don't have the capacity to steward that type of dream. You have to really know who you're sharing things with and learn how to align with people the right way. If you have a financial goal for financial freedom, financial stewardship, acceleration, you might not want to share that with people that don't have that same mindset on finances. They are not going to support you. They're not going to understand where you're coming from. And a lot of times they may even think negatively about something good that you are working on doing. This past year, I had the most productive year of my life. I was able to write and publish 4 books in a year. When I first had that goal in the beginning of the year last year, I thought it was impossible. But for some reason, I felt like it was something that God was placing in me to do, because I was like, this is really hard on the surface. But then I felt that God was telling me, you can do it with my help, with my strength, with my power. So that was the driving force behind that goal throughout the entire year. Being able to just write, still live a regular life, still work a full-time job, still be a wife, still do certain things, still serve, and write throughout the entire year. And by the grace of God, I was able to publish and release 4 books. Now, my first book that I ever wrote, it took 2 or 3 years to write and publish my very first book back in 2016. So that was 10 years ago. 3 years it took me on one book. And this past year, I was able to write 4 books in 1 year. That is called supernatural acceleration, divine momentum, God's favor, what so have you. I said all that to say, I did not tell many people what that goal was last year as I was writing. I was very strategic about who I shared that goal with. Why? Because I knew that goal was nearly impossible. You know how the Bible says, with man, this may be impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So I had that scripture in my mind, and I knew with God, I could do it. But I just felt like it was not necessary for me to tell any and everybody in my path that, I'm working on writing 4 books. I'm working on releasing 4 books. Actually, it's 5. But one of them I didn't release until this. It's not going to be released until this year. It's not going to be finalized and released till this year. The whole point is I felt it very important to steward the goal. I told people as it happened. So as I wrote one book, I released that. I announced that. I got straight to writing the next book. And I didn't say anything about, by the end of the year, I'm going to be writing this many books. My husband knew the number of books. My sister knew the number of books. My mother knew the number of books. But I think that was it. And I might have told like one other close friend. But when you're working on things like goals, dreams, visions, it's highly important to know who to share with. Some of us, we are prophetic dreamers, which means that God will give us things in dreams to show us things that are coming. He will either give us warnings for ourselves, warnings for other people, warnings for family members, warnings of things to come in the world, and he will show us that in a dream. It is important that you do not share those type of dreams with people who God is not permitting you to share with. Because 1, you don't know when the dream is going to come to pass unless God has actually told you and revealed it to you. And even then, you still need to steward who you tell. Number 2, if it's a dream that you are not even fully understanding of yourself, you need to go to God in prayer about that. You don't need to just rattle that off to somebody just because you are excited or you're fearful or you're feeling away. Take everything to God in prayer and he will direct you. Another reason why I really believe you should not tell people things prematurely or when they don't need to know is because people will change on you. People are human and the human mind and heart is changeable. So you may tell somebody something in one season of your life and you've shared it with them and you disclosed it with them, and your dynamic of your relationship may change with that person, and you have already released your private personal goals, desires, and plans with them, and they could change on. People can become envious. People can become jealous. People can become away towards you. People can just change and no longer want to be around you because maybe they're not feeling uncomfortable with you because your life is becoming too much for them. Maybe you've just outgrown the relationship and the friendship, and it's okay. Everything doesn't have to always end in a bad fallout, negative way. You just have to be careful of who you share things with now, because once you release something to somebody, they will always know that information. I'm very particular about who I share my life with regarding my current life and my future life, my family, my friends, my future children. I am very, very strategic on that stuff now. And I wasn't always like that. I was not always like that. I used to just share things freely. I thought there was no harm in it. But now I've learned better. And so I want you to be able to learn to properly steward your life better. Because when you are properly aligned with people, those are the people that you'll be able to like share things with, and they'll be able to appropriately understand you. If you're going through a tough time, I'm not telling you not to share with anybody. I'm telling you to go to people that have a pure heart towards you, that actually care for you purely, genuinely, that can pray for you, that can encourage you, that can help you, and that can keep your business confidential. Again, this is highly important. If people are not keeping your business confidential, you don't need to be sharing with them, because it's just a breach of trust to me. It's like a breach of contract. Like when I share things with somebody, I'm sharing it because I care for them. I want them to know. I don't want everybody else in their life knowing what I'm sharing. So I hope that helps you, because in this year, I want you to really be productive, powerful, and I want you to have that momentum that you need in order to maximize your life. I don't want you to go through discouragement unnecessarily, or go through unnecessary warfare, or go through unnecessary hindrances of your blessings, or what you're assigned to, or what you're called to, because you are talking too much. There's a specific time and a place to tell people things. There's a time to share good news. There's a time to share things. There's a time to get guidance. There's a time to seek God. There's a time to ask questions. There's a time to be quiet. For me now, I only share information once I want it to be out in the open. If there is any part of my life that I don't desire to be out in the open, I'm just not going to share it with many people or anybody at all. Maybe except my husband, because I know he's not going to say anything. But if it's something that I am not ready for it to be like public or like out in the open, I'm just not going to share it with people, because when you tell one person something, there's a chance that it's going to get out. And I've had this happen before. You might tell somebody something in a good light, and that person can twist it and make it into something negative. So you just want to guard your heart, guard your vision, guard your life, okay? Guard your peace. Protect your peace. Sometimes you share things with people and they will disturb your peace about that thing. It'll make you wish you never told them, because they don't know how to handle it, right? And I always say this, people can only take you so far as a place that they've gone. So be very mindful of sharing like things with people who just haven't been where you're going, or they haven't been where you even are in life. That's why I always ask God to give me people that are aligned with where I am. So that way, when I share good news, or when I share something happy, or if I share a challenge, those people that are aligned to where I am, they don't think it's strange. They don't think my goals are too much, or they don't think that, oh, you're doing too much, or, oh, why do you want to do that? No, these people are already aligned with me, with my values, with my desires, with my goals. And we are on the same level. So I hope that helps. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to be great on purpose. And by the way, if you want more information on this topic about not oversharing your dreams and stewarding your dreams properly, get the book that I wrote called Position for God's Purpose. This is God's plan for elevation, purpose, and power in your life. And it talks a lot about Joseph and what I was mentioning in the Bible, and how to properly steward your life so that you can receive elevation God's way. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe to join the community, and I'll see you next time. Bye.